beautiful terminators out there calling to me. We're 4,691 miles from the moon, and what looked like in the Terminator about a third of the way up from the southernmost part of the Terminator looked like a dinosaur.
Damn, I missed it.
One was running to the northwest. Now is clearly a crater with a bunch of craters around it. And that Terminator, I can only see about half of it. I'm looking through the docking hatch window right now because we have the Z9 in window 1. But that Terminator has moved. I guess I've been using Vavilov the whole time, so it's gone 2 more Vavilov craters to the west. And so a few more features are starting to peek out into the sunlight there with that low sun angle. And so you still have ridges and valleys showing up very clearly, a very jagged Terminator, and a few islands of light out there with some high elevation shining in the sunlight in that darkness. And on the eastern side of the moon, Grimaldi appears to be one of the farthest east features, and that is maybe 5 degrees from being right on the limb and going off over the horizon. It is interesting, just looking at Oriental, that my first impression of it is all of the dark areas appear lighter, which I think makes sense because it is now facing, well, it's still relatively the same to the sun, but my angle to it is different. So I'm looking at it from a little more, even further up to the side as we pass it. But all the darker features appear to be just a little bit lighter from this vantage point. The darker ring structure in the outer and inner ring, and the interior, as well as the annular ring.
We're about 30 minutes away from them being by the moon now. We'll be around 6-ish.
Thanks for that description, Ike. Any additional words you can provide on Oriental would be wonderful, as that is such a high priority target for us. And while I have you, as we get closer to target 15, which is the Terminator target, if you can find Zeeman Crater again that you were looking at earlier, everything to your left of Zeeman would be getting into the South Pole Aiken area to help you orient yourself.
Zeeman is a great waypoint out there. I definitely see it. Yeah, Zeeman is very easy to find, and that is awesome. Thank you for pointing that out. Feel free to do that as often as you think of things. Let's see, looking back into Oriental. Okay, another thing, after looking through the zoom camera, man, you guys are smart. You probably did this on purpose, but after looking with my plain eyes and then going to the 400 millimeter zoom, now looking at it, I see the cliff faces. If you were standing in the center, that inner and outer ring have definitely some real terrain to them, and now I can see that as terrain. Now that I look at it, even with my naked eye, I can tell that there's a lot of elevation and that, like I said, a cliff face on that eastern edge where all the darker deposits are. And it's just the scale now. Looking at it from far away, before it seemed like flat with color painted on it, but now that I look at it, I can definitely see that there is, different depositional characteristics. So the darker is some other material, but there's also some shadowing going on because of the cliff face that is a part of that crater wall.
Great description, Victor. Thanks, and really interesting to hear now the distinction between shadow and color. Before I let you go back to other observations, you mentioned that Reed saw a browner hue to the annular ring than the rest of Oriental. Are you seeing that from your vantage point?
way that I'm looking at Oriental